your third they were like just add this call as your third option because your they were like the lecturer taking the course is a very easygoing person, so he doesn't have any issue or anything. So I did the three courses, and in fact everything turned out fine. I had in all three. So but if I had listened to even the Nigerians I met here, I would have done just two courses. So you need to adapt early and on time and mingle with this students, these indigenous students that you meet here, because they are familiar with these lecturers. They know what they want, they know what to write, they know what to do, and they can help you to move faster. Yeah.
That is very, 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 very profound.
Mhm.
So essentially, we had to build good relationships with the indigenous students we meet there because they are the ones that are there and they are the new ones. They're the ones to like teach us and show us the way, essentially. So what
Exactly.
food, language, I mean, their accents and all of those things.
And yes, I mean, the essence, you eventually get used to it, honestly, you get used to it. Like I tell someone, life doesn't have subtitles, so if there's something that you don't understand, you can ask them again, and they are actually kind enough to repeat it for you. Or if you make friends with them and the lecturer says something you don't understand in class, you can just ask someone after class, oh, that this person was talking about this. I didn't really hear him. Can you repeat it? And the I mean, there is usually this whole issue about people coming here, changing their accents and everything. I mean, honestly, personally, I have no problem if you have to change your accent to communicate clearly. I mean, you are not in your country, for God's sake. You're in someone else's country. If the majority of everyone don't understand you, that is a problem. If everyone, I mean, I think there's even a study that shows that you are more employable if you're able to switch your accent. Yeah, I saw it briefly somewhere online just a few days ago. Like, if you're able to switch your accent, you increase your chances of being employed, because nobody wants to hire someone that there will be a communication barrier, especially if you're working in maybe a gas plant or somewhere that's is prone to that is prone to like have blowouts or fire outbreak or anything. They don't want someone that there will be language barrier with or something. So the earlier you blend, the better for you, because I mean, you even meet people that have been here for like 20, 30 years. They still have their Nigerian accent, but when they go on work call, you see that this person switches their accent and they're talking to everyone. So it's good for you to maintain your heritage and all, but please know the place. I mean, know the place. There's a stage you get to where it won't matter. Like if you're a manager in your company, it doesn't matter whatever accent you are speaking with. Everybody is to be forced to conform to hear what you're saying. But I mean, you're still you're still a student, so nobody's nobody's demanding nobody is willing to go through the stress of trying to understand you. You are the one that has to go through the stress of having to understand everybody around you. So just commit yourself. If you we have to start learning the accent or something, learn it. I mean, there was a day I was literally standing there and I was asking for water. Like the guy didn't know I was asking for water. Like I said, water. Like until my friend came, I was like, water. Then the guy, oh, water. I,
Oh my god.
so, so
Like you just have to keep repeating yourselves and sometimes you have to talk slowly or like you have to like spell it. I mean WAT.
exactly. So just save yourself all that stress and know the words you have to tweet for them. And since that day, whenever I go to class, I say, do you have water? They get it immediately, like, oh, water, sure. I mean, so if you're saying water, so little things like that.
This
Yeah, I
person,
mean,
what is that? I'm like, okay.
So you just want you don't want a stressful life for yourself. So if learning their accent or speaking like them will help you, we go for. I mean, it's a lesser price to pay, honestly.
Mm, that's really really profound. Thank
Mhm.
you. So how do we
Um,
leverage our international background as a strength in our application? And I think we should take the third question too, because you already spoke about how that we need to build a very good relationship with the indigenous students of whatever that school we are going. So, what networking strategies would we use to build such connections?
Oh yeah. So for your application, you can actually like leverage your international background. Your international background is actually a strength. Yeah, because most of these professors and all too, they want like researches that are applicable even outside of the US. They want something that will give them global impact and all. And
Really research communities.
I'm sorry.
I said essentially in research communities like
Exactly,
Nigeria.
exactly. Especially your communities and this thing. If I this things even help you in class, but I'm taking a course, technical communications, and we were told to write a proposal, and I decided to write on getting constant supply, a proposal for getting constant supply from my community, and the lecturer actually really liked it because it was like it shows diversity in his class, which is a point for them because they actually, I mean, diversity for them is one of their selling points, even as a university and for a course. Yeah, so it even helps you. And the best part of it is nobody even knows when you are saying something that is not true. I'm not saying you go and say something that is not true, but nobody knows. So,
So
so,
we have
uh,
integrity.
yeah. So, but I mean, academic integrity is important. So, you should obviously say something true. But I'm saying it actually like it helps you. It helps you in your classes. It helps you with your application. For instance, when I wrote my statement of purpose, I actually tried to tie my background into it because I did petroleum engineering and I'm switching to I want to switch to chemical engineering. So I need to find a way to like justify my transition. Yeah, I have to justify my transition into chemical engineering. So one of the things I had to highlight was the fact that number one, Nigeria doesn't really have good energy supply. And number two, like we are a fossil fuel dependent country. And I told them that when I went, because I served in Port Harcourt, and I told them when I went for my service here in Port Harcourt, yeah, I actually wrote NYSC right there in my. So, like I said, your SOP is your playground. Write whatever will help you to communicate your current situation and communicate why you want to do what you want to do. So I told them like so I actually went to one of the riverbanks in the community and the water was black. Like what I call I mean River State is well known for this their oil bunkering and everything. So when I went there, the old water was black. You could see fishes floating, flies everywhere. And I mean, this was actually a very horrible sight. So I tried to communicate that too. I mean, so this is you leveraging your international background now in your statement of purpose. So I was able to communicate all those things. And I mean, anybody that is reading that, we actually see like, oh, this person actually has a genuine reason for wanting to switch from this non-renewable energy source to a more renewable energy source. So I communicated all those things right there, and those things help to strengthen my application. So I think it's important we realize that our uniqueness is actually a
Strength.
very good thing. Yeah, it's a strength. Your uniqueness is a strength. You can use it when you get here. You can use it for your application because when you get here too, people want to learn about your culture. They want to, if I told my lecturers to be like, oh, I want to actually learn your name, your actual name, because most times I just tell them Ola, they just call me Ola. But if you tell them Dikbo, they'll be like Dikbo. Like, no. So I told them Ola, but some will be like, oh, I actually want to learn your name and everything. So be open to them because they don't get your name right. It doesn't mean they don't respect you or anything. Yoruba is not a general language like English, so it's not their fault. So I mean, even we make mistakes within Nigeria, the way we call some other names in other tribes, we make mistakes. So why can't we give them a little grace too? Yeah, so they are open to learn from you. They are open to do everything. They don't shrink their face if what you're doing is uncomfortable because these people are actually like very curious people. Like they are actually very curious people. Yeah, and that brings me to the networking strategies that can help students build connections in their desired graduate programs. Um, you can actually use your international background as a strength for your networking. Yeah, because I mean, I told you when I got here, like I tried to build relationships with some of my colleagues in class and everything. One of the things I did was one day we were talking about I think we were talking about foods or like oh, what are the American foods and everything. And then we go to Nigeria and I was like, oh, jollof rice is very nice and everything. And while we were talking, it was like, oh, the that why don't I make the jollof? I'm like, sure, I can make the jollof rice and I can. That was how I invited them to my house. I mean, that was how I invited them to my house, and since then we've
Hope you
been
didn't
there
have
for.
special.
They complained about the pepper, but I was like, "This isn't even pepperish." I was trying to be considerate, and and the funny thing was that this guy actually came with his then girlfriend, now fiance, then girlfriend,
Oh,
and it was actually the day of their anniversary.
cute.
Because
Very cute.
they've been dating for like 5 or 6 years. Yeah, that's another thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, most of them date for like they start dating very young. So that's by the way. So they've been dating for that year. So like that day I was actually surprised because it's kind of impressive that you have like an American that is special day like their anniversary coming to your house to spend it with you just because of your dish, your Nigerian, your cultural dish. So you can use those things as a way to a way of networking for them. Yeah, they have like you can actually use it as a way of networking. Then the other things you can do is like you can also be open to their own activities because I mean after the time actually also been invited. For instance, the 4th of July, which is their Independence Day, we went to shoot we went to shoot what was the name? Fireworks in the
Works.
sky. Yes, no, that's the thing. They like trivial stuff, like things that we won't. I mean, we'll celebrate Independence Day. The only thing we are grateful for is just that we don't go to work. But they took it seriously, so you try to also be open to their activities. And another networking strategy is small talks. You have to be very good. They love small talks. Oh my God. Like you are walking, for instance, and all of a sudden you just remember, oh, Lakers played yesterday. Oh, did you watch it? Did you see LeBron? Did you see Anthony Davis? They're like, oh yeah, 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 I went to game. It even helps you with your supervisor. Because most of the supervisor, my supervisor, for instance, he loves baseball. He even loves Ireland. He loves Ireland, and I mean, I don't really care for Ireland, but because he loves Ireland, I have to love Ireland. So, so, so I mean, so if Ireland does well in a match, I talk to him about it. Sometimes it comes to me in the class, and he comes to sit on my table like, "Did you see my boy Haaland? He's playing horribly. I didn't know." I tried to sit and I discussed with him. So you try to leverage whatever it is they are interested in. Like I said, you are the one in their country. So it's good to stand out, but for you to find a stronger footing, you need to make sure that at least you are cool with like majority of the people. Like I said, in this country, they take referrals very seriously. They take, so you cannot joke with networking. They take referrals very seriously. I was at a conference in Atlanta around March. Yeah, and I just bumped into a woman and we started talking and everything, and she exchanged LinkedIn, and he was like, "Oh, that before I apply for this program, I should message her so that she can reach out to the director that is actually in that place." And how did we get talking? I think it was even about my outfit or something like that. So you use every opportunity that comes to you because these people, you don't really have a lot in common with them. So any little opportunity that shows for you build connection with them, to build connection with them, you quickly cling to it. My supervisor, his daughter loves soccer. He has even taken us outdoor to go and play soccer with his daughter. Like we've gone like twice. You know that those people shut down recently. He was looking to make it a bi-weekly thing. So you take advantage. Do I love soccer? I couldn't care less about soccer. I didn't even play when I was in UI, but now I have to. So you,
Right.
so you have to. It's not like you're selling your soul or anything. You just have to take advantage of every little opportunity um to connect with them. Yeah, and when you build these connections, they are watching out for you. When opportunity comes up, you are the first person that comes to their mind and things like that.
That's very beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Usman, we are back to you now. So just take the remaining three questions that you have. So, what funding opportunities should students explore when considering graduate studies abroad?
All right. I'll take like you said, I'll take the three so that we can and only out of time and stuff like that. All right. There are many opportunities for funding in the US for international students. There are some funding that you can't get. It's not a lie because it's only for citizens. There are some funding that you get because you're an international body. You can go through your international bodies within the schools and apply to them. But the major funding that graduate students get, I think there are four. The first one is teaching assistantship, which you are going to get the funding, you teaching the undergrads. For example, when I came here, I came as a teaching assistant, and I was teaching unconventional resources. And which other course was that? I was teaching drilling simulation. Those are the two courses I'm teaching, and that's what they're funding. That's my funding. They fund me through me teaching this undergrad some courses. That's one. The second one is the research assistantship, research funding, in the sense that you come through a professor directly, and the professor's group is the one funding your school and sending both stipends and paying your school fees and paying your medical insurance. Those are the second one. The first one is teaching assistantship as a funding. The second one is research assistantship. The third one is just graduate assistantship. Like graduate assistantship also taking the T and RE, but the graduate assistantship in the sense that administrative works. For example, you work with graduate schools to help them to, whenever students come in, you help them to write something down. And that one also, students can apply, students can get it. The last one is fellowship. Fellowships is one of the best, is the best funding that one can get in when you come here. In that case, you are not working for anyone. You're just doing your own research. There is no professor that is on your neck that, yeah, where is my results, because he's the one funding you for RA, research assistantship. There is no, like, you have to do 20 hours work for to teach. You have to do what we call class hours, office hours for if you are AT, because you have to do that because that's what you get the money from. But the best one you can do is get fellowships, which you have to be you have to be an exemplary student. You have not exist, not necessary, but you have to be some criteria for you to get the fellowships. But these four scholarships is what I advise anyone that is planning to apply it abroad to look forward to. If you get to get an applications, look through all the necessary requirements for each of these and see which one do you think do you is it's your which one your profile probably apply to. Once you see where your profile apply to the schools, send email to the professors or to the graduate committee that you are trying to be applying for RA, send it to professors. If you are applying for TA, send it to the graduate committees. And most times each of the schools has sections, like each of the sections, they have an opening for TA to teach for TA to teach students. Then with that for funding opportunities, those are the four ways I know that a student, an international body can come and get it. Anything apart from that, they are for the citizens, and which it's very, very hard for us to get. That's one. You have to aim for the TA, the RA, the fellowships, and the administrative funding. But it's not as better as the fellowship. That was one. You just have to explore all these four to ensure that you get a full funded opportunities to come to the United States. The next one is how can we showcase our unique background and potential in our applications? The best way to show yourself is your SOP, as we have said like thousand times. You have to put in the best you can in your SOP and as well as your CV. Those are the two things. When you put it in your CV, because when they are putting your applications together, they will look at your CV, look at your SOP, read it thoroughly, and see, okay, is this person qualified to be a student in our school? And sometimes most of them they do some background checking also. Some of them might just go through your Twitter, go through your LinkedIn or something like that, and to check what this person is. And most of us that maybe you go to Twitter, you tweet something is bad, you bomb this person, bomb this one, and all like that. You have to just be conscious of whatever you are typing on, you are putting on the social media, because those guys can maybe go through your maybe LinkedIn and everything to see what you've tweeted, what you've commented on, and you don't want to put yourself in that kind of position. And your background, for example, as I'm African, you are resilient. You try to tell your in your applications that I'm kind of person that whenever things are going wrong, and try to stay on my feet, try to apply as much as try to apply my skills, getting the solution to a particular problem. Even though here some of the problems might be very, 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 very hard to solve, but with your resilience, with your commitment, everything, when you put it together, you try to get your goal, which is try to solve a problem. With that, I think if you can showcase it through your SOP that might have and your and CV, there's a problem I had. This is how I solved the problem. With that and your whatever you have within your story, if you put it up, I think it's to go well for you to ensure that you get good applications into the school. The next one, let me just run it up so that it won't take much time. Is there any benefit for applying to grad schools in the US over UK or Canada? It's double yes. Yes. To be honest, I'll bring US first. I'll bring Canada next. I'll bring UK the last one. And in Canada, to be honest, in the US, if you get to top schools, some schools in the US, it doesn't matter, top schools, mid schools, low schools. When you get to here and you get for example, let me make some kind of things. There's one person that came here. He came to the US to study for his PhD, I think in petroleum engineering. Then after he got his PhD in petroleum engineering, he worked for 4 years in this country. Then applied to Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco is a country everybody knows it's from Saudi Arabia. And if you are from any other country, for example, maybe your education is from Nigeria and everything, and you are a Nigerian, there's a high chance that you might not get into the Saudi Aramco. I have people in Nigeria that are professionals, 15 years experience. They've applied to 50 years of experience of petroleum engineering in Nigeria, total distance, and they have applied to Saudi Aramco, and they did not get it. Saudi Aramco is a company that no tax. They're paying you in dollars. There is no tax. Everything is free and everything. They get, and people want to get, but because of the fact that they school in Nigeria and they have all their experience in Nigeria, they could not get into that place. But this person that came to the US, did his PhD in the US, after 4 years experience or 5 years experience, he applied to for his green card, and all those ones are also part of it. I will explain. Green card, he got the green card, and he applied to Saudi Aramco, and he got a job, a very paying job that someone is collecting 17K per month, $17,000, not 17,000 naira, $17,000 per month. You get, if you convert it to Nigerian money, it's a lot of money that even I don't know if someone paid gets it in a year in Nigeria. Do you get? Those are the things that when you get to US, first the facilities you see, because this is a very, very sophisticated environment where I've not seen a research that you want to apply, like you want to do, that you will not see in the US. I've not seen the what was it called? The diversity. You have a lot of people coming here. You see people from India, and you see people from Canada. And mention the country, you see them here. The interaction you have there, it's different from when you go to UK. UK, you see a lot of people, Nigerians, they just want to come there. But at the end of the day, when you're done, probably you have to go back to your country. But in the US, once you are done with your masters, they give you, for example, 3 years OPT in STEM. You use that 3 years to find for jobs. And when you find job, while looking for job, you might start applying for your green card or NIW, like as the case may be, if you guys know about that. Then with that, you can be a permanent resident, like you can have permanent residence and start living in the US. With that, that makes you get to work and start benefiting with whatever they are doing in the US. You get. But if you go to UK, I won't. To be honest, apart from the taxes and everything, which I have a friend that got a job in the UK and got a job in another place, for example, in another country in Europe. He left UK to Europe because the funding, the after tax is crazy. The tax is crazy in the UK. Then when you're done, there's not like a job like that. Even if you guys listen to what they're saying in the news right now, UK is trying to limit the number of people that are coming. But US, because most of what they are doing in US, most of the research they're doing is done by international students. They want you guys to come in, help the country, and need to get a great jobs for you. You to great jobs for people, and with that, it goes and goes and goes on like that. And if you are kind of person that is interested in staying in the US, if you do your homework very well, you get your PhD or masters, you get your NIW, get a green card, become a citizen, and with that, you are now living in the US. It's not like as straight as that, but it's there are a lot of benefits that you see if you come to the US rather than going to UK. Canada is still good. Canada, I can still vouch for Canada, but to be honest, not as good as the US. I would advise, if you are planning to apply to like countries, I would maybe apply like 10, 12 schools in US, maybe 3 schools in Canada. I won't maybe one school in the UK. I will say that. But when you get to the US, you see a lot of benefits. These professors, the skills, the research you'll be doing, everything will be open to you, and you'll be like, oh wow, this is what I've missed over time. And that's it. And when I get here, I see that a lot of things that we do in Nigeria, our professors in Nigeria, they are very good, everything, but there are clear differences, very, very clear differences between how they teach you and how they teach in the US and how they teach you here. Every of my course has projects, everyone. And the project is not what you do in 2 weeks, bam, and done. No. It take you for all the classes you've done, you have to use all those classes, all those techniques in the project. You get. And it's not like Google said, like 25% of your exams, everything, scores, is coming from those exams. The 75% is from assignments, from your projects. Not like our place where I can decide not to go to school, but with my exam I can read all past questions and I'll pass. No, here the A is 90. Do you get? A is 90 here. It's not 70. A is 90. And to get 90, you have to go to the class assignment and everything. You have to put everything together. Even if you all of you have A's, for example, I've seen a position where everyone has A 4.0, 5.0, but they give this person, who is the person that maybe doing research, he or she knows how to explain him or herself very well. It can communicate very well. Those things comes together when you come to the US because you have a diverse number of people from different backgrounds, and with that you can communicate, you can reach out, and you can do a very, very good research, which at the end of the day you might get even my patent it, or even get job through using that research. I've seen a lot of people doing that. For example, I have the person that stayed where I'm currently on in my seat now is currently is from He's from Vietnam. He's currently working for a company in the US now, and ExxonMobil. He's currently working for ExxonMobil in the US now. And if not for the fact that he's good and he did his research very well in this group, he will not get it. You cannot get it. You get the best way is the best place to go for a grad school is US. Aside that, you can go to Canada, but I won't advise you to be honest.
Thank
All right.
you very, 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 very much. So we're back to Ogolo and then see if people have any other questions. But our time is fast spent. Okay, Ogolo, let's have you for the last two questions. Um, no. Yes. All right. So, what resources or support systems should international students be aware of when transitioning to studies abroad? I think we should take the questions one after the other because that last question is very important also. So, yes,
Okay.
let's have you. So, thank you.
Oh, all right, thank you. Yeah, so okay, yeah, so one of the things you need to realize is that you have a lot of resources made available. Like these resources are, in fact, it's to your own disadvantage if you do not. I mean, not necessarily your disadvantage, but you've already paid for them, so you can as well use it. So yeah, so you have library, you have the library, they have a lot of things at the library. You can go there and they can help you. Even if there are books that you cannot get, the library can actually like help you get it. They can buy it, keep it, and tell you to come get it. So those opportunities are there. Um, you also have you have the IT team. So if you don't have a laptop, for instance, you can go there and you can get a laptop and you actually don't have to pay. You can actually get a laptop. You can, there's even a friend of mine that was like, oh, he has never used a MacBook before. And he went to his IT stuff and he got a MacBook and he took it home. He said he doesn't have need for it. He just wanted to see what it's like. So those things are there for you. If it comes out and you need a laptop or something to for your assignment or stuff, they are readily available. Those things are not like they make learning very easy for you. Then you also have your health insurance if you're not feeling too well. And there's something they also have here, they call it CAPS. I think it's something about awareness, like mental health awareness or stuff. And in all fairness, I think most of these things is just because we do not have opportunity or we don't have it in Nigeria. Because yeah, I know people like even Africans that actually go for they go for therapy sessions. Yeah, because they feel like I mean it's not easy leaving your home country to come here and start another life and all. So some people can get overwhelmed, especially if you come during the summer, I can still try to adjust. But if you come during the winter, it's very cold outside. Almost everybody is inside. So most times you are just inside all by yourself. It can be overwhelming for some people or most people, especially if you are a family person, you come from a place where your family are closely knitted, and then you come here, everybody just stays in their house. Even your neighbors that you stay with, you don't see them outside. It's not like Nigeria when you're coming from work, you see everybody outside, you're greeting them as you go in. Yeah, everybody just stays inside, nothing. So it can affect your mental health, and the school actually caters for that. You can log in for therapy sessions where you just go, you talk it out and everything. And then they also have academic support groups. Yeah, we have academic support groups where we they try to pair you up with they try to pair you up with people that we check up on you and everything. And one of the things I actually liked when I got here was there was this initiative, iFriends. One of the first events they did was dinner in an American home. So you actually go to an American home, you go there, you have dinner with them, they cook their food, and you actually sit down there. Yeah, and these people, when you leave them, they actually check up on you. And sometimes the person I at dinner with actually they still text me sometimes like, oh, how are you? Hope school is going well. If you need anything, let us know. If there's any way we can step in, let us know. Um these resources are actually there. Yeah, they are there. Sometimes they can actually and my flatmates sometimes they just call him and like, oh, they are going to town to get some things that should they come pick him, and he joins them, they take him out, they get lunch for him. And so these opportunities are there. They are there. You just have to be aware of them and you have to utilize them. You have free printing and everything. All these things you've paid for them. So if you don't use it, it's on you. And if you use it, it's good. Uh, One final thing is the ASOs. You have some associate organizations, organizations that are like related depending on where you are. For instance, we have the National Society of Black Engineers, NSB, and the person that runs it is really helpful. So if you're even having like an issue, maybe with a course or something, they can help you in. And the international school also has a mentorship program. Yeah, so you can register for the mentorship program where they connect you with fellow people that were also like international students like you, and they will share how they scaled and everything, how they were able to like pass through the whole program to they are where they are today. And it's really very like informative. Those sessions are really informative. Having mentors, alumni connections, things like that, they're very informative. One thing I would just say majorly is that if you're confused about anything, just ask questions, ask around. Yeah, this country is very possible for you to actually spend your whole 5 years of PhD, 4, 5 years of PhD, and actually not be aware of a lot of things and a lot of opportunities that are there for you. So you ask questions. If you know you need something, you don't hesitate to ask, because most times you're actually entitled to those things. But because of where we are coming from, it's very nice. It's very okay. For instance, my first year when I came, there was a student that he did the final exam even before we did this. And what was his excuse? Him and his family, they'll be going on vacation in the Bahamas during December. And he went to meet like 2 or 3 lecturers. I think we were taking 2 courses together then. Yeah. So he went to meet the lecturers like, oh, I have a vacation planned with my parents and we already bought the tickets and everything. And I just write my exams early so that I can leave early. And they actually allowed him. You can't do that one in Nigeria. Yes. What will you go and tell that your parents have vacation that you want to take and go? So, so most times you are unaware of the things that are available to you because of where you are coming from. So you shouldn't be afraid to ask for some things. Ask them. Um, can I get to so and day so weeks off? I have an event, I have a wedding I want to attend, I have this. What you will call a flimsy excuse sometimes is not a flimsy excuse to them, because they value personal relationships, they value your time, they value whatever you count as important, they value it. So you shouldn't hesitate to ask for it, because whatever it is you want that you think is out of reach might actually be within your reach. Yeah. For the other question, as a current student with no hopes of graduating with the first class, what can one do to have an upper edge in grad school's application? Yeah, this is actually a very important one. I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't graduate with the first class, and I didn't even have any publication, and here I am. So, but there are a list of other things that you can do to strengthen your application, and which is one of which I would say is very important is also what Usman said, your statement of purpose. Yeah, because your statement of purpose is your first in their first introduction to you. They've not seen you, they've not heard about you before or anything. So the best thing you can do is to try to sell yourself well uh, for your statement of purpose. So it's not just something you want to rush to write that, oh, I have this application coming out, let me rush and type it. You want to actually take your time because you want to write clearly. You want your writing to be fluid. You want to relate your personal experiences. And just like you said in your SOP, you need to like tell your story. You need to define your clear goals. If okay, for instance, because back then when I was writing it, I watched a lot of YouTube videos before I even started writing. And one guy said, if there was a semester or session where you had maybe a bad year, you had a bad grade or something, it was like don't just assume that they won't see it because they will actually see it in your courses. So you should try to put a reason for that happened why that happened. And luckily for me back then, the only semester I had something terrible was during the whole NASU strike that there was no water, there was nothing. And I mean, and it's luckily for me, it's actually tied into my own story. So I try to reference that because you don't want to assume that they won't see it. Because they'll be like, okay, you presented a very good argument, but on your transcripts, you are saying something different and they didn't even mention anything about this. So you want to try to find a way to include that, maybe you were learning a new skill and you were unable to concentrate in school, something like that. You want to mention that in your SOP because don't just assume they won't see it because they will actually see it. Then another thing is you want to mention your major and key achievements, especially if they are out of academics, because it will try to justify that they could have, I mean, maybe you were gaining this kind of skills and you were not able to focus as much in school. Yeah, so you want to mention some of those skills. I know. Uh, I think I remember during my time, I think I mentioned some achievement outside of universities, even when I was working. Yeah, even when I was working, because back then I think I supervised like during my internship, I was able to supervise projects, like two projects actually. One was about $450 million, the other was around $300 million. The company I was working with, I I just I was one of the major people that told the staffs on what to work on and everything. I highlighted those things in my SOP so that they can see that even though this person might not be having this, he has clearly demonstrated this skill even at a significant and higher level at an industrial level, which shows competence that this person is actually, I mean, will we entrust you to a project of that kind of amount if they don't think you're competent enough to handle it? Yeah, so it's personally grade is important in your graduate school application, but um it's not the crux of all things. There are like a lot of things that are factoring into your application. Like I said, your letter of recommendation and your statement of purpose, those two really go a long way. They really go like it doesn't even matter what your grade is. If you flop on those two, it's very easy for you to get flunked out. It's very easy for you to get flunked out because I mean a lot of people have very good CGPA and everything, but how many people can actually like testify to your capacity?
Sorry, Ogoli, 1 minute. Let me just ask. Let me add to that. I know of a lady who is a first class student. She had a good GPA, but could not get into the school because it's why? Because they told the professors that once she wants to work with, as probably they've done everything they've agreed. But the graduate committee now told her that one of the recommenders say nonsense about her. Like Recommendation letter is not good at all. Because of that, they did not give an admission, neither forced
Imagine.
me. As I want to just add to that.
Imagine. So just like that, these things, they, I mean, a lot of people have good CGPAs, but you need someone to actually, and just like you said, it means you have to watch out for the kind of person that is recommending for you. Don't go and meet someone that you know has something against you, and you are telling that person to recommend you. They can write nonsense for you, and they can write nonsense for you, and your whole hope of you traveling is just gone like that. And focus on your relevant experiences, especially if they tie into your school. Like I said, you can go for additional courses, you can take additional courses, you can go for additional work experience if you need to. But if you don't want to, you can. I even attended webinars on sustainable energy in Canada. I attended webinars on them, and I put it there like webinars attended. I added it to my CV. So they just need to you just need to see that, okay, I'm saying they're saying, okay, this is where you want your passion is directed. What have you done to show that you actually are passionate about this? Okay, you're saying you're passionate about research. What are the things you research on your own to show how valuable your contribution is, even to yourself, before you can come and impact us? Yeah, so they need to see that effort on your part. It's not just about having a first class, as important as that is, but other aspects of your application also need to be strong. And then you just try to cast your net wide. Yeah, you need to cast your net wide. There's something they usually say: you have a safe school, you have a very high school you're in for, and then you have a middle school. Yeah. Some people, their safe school even rejects them, and it's the high school that we pick them. So yeah, so you try to cast your net wide to why making your applications. You state your relevant experiences, you state your achievements within school that might have affected your reason why you didn't graduate with the first class, and you also state your achievement outside of school that testifies to your competence, that just because you didn't graduate with the first class doesn't mean you are not competent or you're not capable. Yeah.
Thank you very, 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 very much.
Mm,
Thank you very much, Obodo. Thank you very much,
mm,
Usman. We had a very, very, very great time over the past 1 hour plus an hour. And thank you so much for giving
mm,
us your time. We really appreciate you.
mm.
Like, we
You're
really, really
welcome.
appreciate you. Thank you for not saying no to us. So,
Mhm.
how if people connect with you on LinkedIn and ask,
I didn't still
Uh,
see.
I would want to have questions from them.
You said what?
sorry.
I said,
I
I
can't hear
think
you.
that, yeah, I can't hear either.
I still can hear you.
all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can hear you.
It's going to be echo. Okay. All right. So we're just saying thank you very much for today's session, for coming to us. And I was asking if we could reach out to you on LinkedIn if we had more questions or we need help and all of those things. Thank you so much. So expect some of us. Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Yeah.
you.
No problem.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you.
And
Bye. Thank you.
bye. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So please share
Bye.
your LinkedIn resource. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can. I think my name is just Usman Abdulkarim, and you guys can check out. My name is Usman Abdulkarim. All right. I think you can go, Bolo.